Hello, welcome to Geekonomics. We're back on a Tuesday because of the holiday known as this guy's birthday yesterday.
Oh, is
So,
that what it was?
yes, everyone got yesterday off because it was my birthday.
You gave us Labor Day off.
Yep, yep. It's called Labor Day because a mom gave labor or went into labor with me.
She gave
That's why it's called
labor.
labor. Yeah, she went into labor with me. So that's why it's called Labor Day.
Ah, yes.
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 Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mark. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
having
You're welcome. I
3 day
hope you
weekend.
enjoyed your day off.
I did.
And
I needed that third day.
I know you
Recuperate.
especially. You needed Monday to recover from the weekend.
Oh,
Quite the
man.
weekend.
Quite the weekend. I got 3 hours of sleep Saturday nights. I slept like a rock. Uh, like Sunday night and then
Yeah,
last night. Whew. Um, but we got a lot to talk about today, Mark. We
we
have
do. It was
Shang-Chi
a busy
review,
weekend. We do. Yes, yes.
Shang-Chi, What If,
What if?
um, and
What
uh,
if Doctor Strange went nuts?
I know that was oh man. Okay, we'll save it. We'll save
It
it.
was a rough watch, I'll tell you.
Real quickly, my
Yes.
week because it's gonna be so quick. I'll go first on this. Um, we got ready for Kristen's 40th birthday. I was
Yes.
kind of busy. I didn't really do it much other than just play a lot of GTA San Andreas because I'm so addicted to that game now. But also, we started watching Chernobyl last night.
Ah,
I know we watched 2 episodes.
Claire
Man,
watched that. I did not. I
wow,
couldn't
oh my
handle it.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, very good so far. But yeah, I was like, let's just start watching something. So we did.
There you go.
And then we watched uh, the Monsters in the Shadows, which was
Yes.
on Peacock, I believe, the
I
docu
think so. Yeah.
series. Yeah, about this girl goes missing, but it exposes this
Yeah.
like
The whole
sex
thing. Yeah.
ring. Oh,
Claire was telling me about it. Yeah. I know
yeah,
Allison and Claire were talking about it on Saturday.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
nuts. It is nuts. It's 3 episodes. If you're into crime documentary, murder documentaries, it
Mm.
was a crazy one. We finished that up,
I did say
and
to
wow,
Claire on Saturday, I'm like, I'm very happy that you and Allison are now like connected. So that way I don't have to hear about these shows that I know.
you're still gonna hear about them.
At least hopefully if her and Allison start texting and they talk about it, she won't bother me with it because I don't.
I
Days
like
glaze
watching them.
over. I don't pay. I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm like, I'm never gonna
Oh,
watch this. I don't know why you're telling me about this.
ah, um.
Like me telling her about like some in-depth nerd thing that she does not care about. By like getting
So
like a
the
deep
Bad
Lego
Batch,
conversation. Yeah,
the
exactly.
Bad
Yeah.
Batch this week. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
Ray Renjo Khan shot Bogo Baggins in the back of the head. I just can't
Exactly.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I get into that kind of stuff, she's like, why are you telling me this? I'm the same way with these murder shows. I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this, and I don't have any inkling to. So
they're good. Some are good. I mean, good, not good.
yeah, not good because people die, but
Yes,
good because they're interesting.
yes.
Yes.
Which wouldn't make good television if they weren't interesting.
I don't know.
So
Some of them I've heard
are
aren't
pretty
not good,
bad.
aren't good at all. So
Yeah. So for me, that was about it, other than watching What If and Shang-Chi. I did get volume 5 and 6 of Sweet Tooth. I
oh.
am one chapter away from finishing volume 5, which I hope to finish tonight. So
Mm.
Sweet Tooth, it is 6 books. There is a 7th book called The Return that came out this year,
Oh,
which I have an order from Max. So
there you go.
I'm hoping when I go in, I can read that. Once I finish 6, now that I
Mm.
know it's only 6 volumes, I will start watching the show once I'm
Yes,
done.
probably a good idea. Yeah.
Oh my God, the graphic novel is so good.
Yeah. The show is really good
Like,
too.
yeah, so I'm excited really to see what they
Yeah.
did because in volume 5, they kind of go into the history of what caused this.
Yeah.
So
Don't
it'll
say
be
anything. I don't
interesting.
know.
Huh?
Don't tell anything. Don't say anything. I don't want to know.
Okay. So they probably don't cover that in the show.
No. No.
No. Uh
I mean, they talk
but
about it, but they don't like go into deep into it.
Right.
in the
They
first
do
season.
like a
It's mentioned.
3-chapter story arc of just the background of where it came from,
Oh,
which
they
is
cover
really
that in the
cool.
first season.
Of where it came from,
Yeah.
the plague.
Oh, not the plague, but how the kids started
Yeah, they wrap it.
hybrids.
See, the hybrid thing and the plague are all wrapped into the same thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So,
So they cover
um,
that
yeah, okay. So I'm very
very
excited.
quickly. It's like
Once,
one episode.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how
Um,
much they actually cover in this. How this all. There's still more story, I'm assuming. So I think
yeah.
it jumps around. I don't think it's all
I'll let you know as soon
potentially.
as I start
Yeah.
watching. I'm so excited to finish
Yeah.
this week. So, and the return, I guess he came back when the show got announced. He did
Mm.
like the boys did. He did like a couple new issues.
Yeah.
Like the
Kind of
boys, the
promote it.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, to promote it. So it's probably not connected to. It's probably like a flash forward or a side
Yeah.
story or just something brand
Epilogue
new.
kind of thing.
Yeah. So I got to read about. I'll read that and see if it's any good.
Yeah.
Um, but that's about it for me, Mark. I mean, how was your week? What'd you do?
Like we're getting ready for the cat. We're preparing. We pick our cat up Sunday.
Ooh,
So getting a lot of that stuff gathered and collected, ordered. A lot of Amazon, Chewy, Walmart purchasing going on.
yeah,
So that's been the big thing. Very quiet birthday, which was nice. Just Claire and I
yeah. You're
because of COVID.
42.
So yeah, I am.
You're
I am.
happy birthday,
Thank
Mark.
you. So I said a whole bit about it like 20 minutes ago, but thanks for catching
I
on now.
I'm just I'm adding to the conversation. Jeez Louise.
But yeah, so kept it very quiet, nothing crazy.
Well, at 42, do you really need anything crazy? I mean,
No, I mean
it's
like
like
we didn't like no family, we didn't do like a thing or anything like that because of the
right.
COVID and everything. So
Yeah.
just Claire and I started watching on a whim, kind of like you with your show that you started watching, the Chernobyl, which on HBO Max, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Randomly on Peacock, I just started watching because I was watching Rutherford Falls, and I fought my way through the first season. So
I
I'm like,
can't
sooner
believe
or
you're
later,
still
this show's
watching.
gonna get funny. Sooner or later, it's gonna get funny. I'm gonna laugh at something in this show, and I never did the whole first season. So I'm done with that show.
Yeah.
But then Anna is on there. I'm like, I like Patton Oswalt. I'm gonna give this show a try. AP
AP.
Bio.
Yeah, I've been interested with that. Is it
It's
good?
funny.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, this is a comedy. I'm actually laughing. This is what's supposed to happen when you watch a comedy.
I've been like I see it and
Yeah.
like I'm like I'm sort of
Yeah.
interested.
And they're 3 seasons in, so there's enough of it to watch that you're not gonna like catch up so quickly.
The fourth is
Is
Peacock streaming only.
yes, yeah.
They
So
picked it up, yeah.
yeah. So that's what I'm catching up on now. It's very funny. It's very quirky funny, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
And I
Cool.
like
I'll have to
that.
check
I
it out.
like the guy that's in Always Sunny.
Yeah, he's from Always Sunny, huh?
Yeah, but I never could get into that show because it's just too far out there for me.
Yeah.
So, which is good because I'm like, I like his comedy, but just not that show. So it works in this show. He does a very good job in it. It's very good.
Well, is he
So
playing the straight character though?
no, he plays the teacher of
Yeah,
the
but is the teacher kind of like the straight? Is he playing? He's not
no, no,
the foil,
no.
really.
He is like the leader of the foil, basically. It's very hard to like. Yeah, I don't want to get too much to you if you're gonna watch it. So
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
yeah, but that's very good. So I started watching that. I've been watching C, the Moa show. I got through the first season of that, and the second season just started. So watching that. Ted Lasso, same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's basically what I've been watching. And of course, What If, and then Shang-Chi, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, just kind of did the Kristen's birthday on Saturday. Very good job hosting, as always. As Claire said to me on the way home, she was very happy that she decided to kind of sort of try to stop drinking this weekend. She was like, that bag looked dangerous, and she's like, I didn't. Then It was also her first Hutzel experience.
Yeah.
With Drunken Hutzel. So that was quite the thing to talk with her about on the way home and the whole weekend. She kept asking questions. I think it was just her first time ever seeing. I think it was the first time she ever been to one of those parties.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting.
I haven't seen Claire. Well, I haven't seen Claire since she threw that party for you, for your 40th.
And the last time we went at your place, we talked about on the way there was your marriage party.
Right. And then you got married. Then you had a 40th.
I got married right after that. Yeah. So
and then I haven't seen Claire since. But
so
it was a good time. I'm glad she showed up.
She was nervous on the way. She's always nervous when around people. Especially you guys, because she's like, get your friends. I don't want to like embarrass I don't know how to. I'm like, trust me, my friends are idiots. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like no one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, did you hear what Claire said?
Yeah,
no, I'm like, trust me. Other people are gonna say way worse things than you're ever gonna say, so don't worry about
it. Nobody said any. I mean, it was great because it was nobody got ridiculous. I didn't have to take care of anybody.
People got ridiculous. You just didn't have to deal with it because you were ridiculous too at the same time. So
I mean, everybody was sober. We didn't let anybody drive home drunk.
No, of course.
You know, it was like 3 a.m. when I went to bed.
We got home around 1, and Claire was like, "Wow." I'm like, "That's early for a Bryan party." We got home that early. I'm like, usually I'm going home when the sun's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, I was afraid Bobby and Jay was going to stay here until then, but then they were like, "Oh, we should go." I'm like, "Well, if you're drunk, you can sleep on the couch." And they're like, "No, we're good."
Yeah.
So
how long did Hutzel stay?
He actually left before them. He left at 2.
Wow.
He sobered up. I made him a coffee. We watched What If because he never watched What If before.
Wow.
We watched What If. We watched some YouTube. We giggled and laughed. And
there you go.
Bobby and Jay joined us.
Nice.
And everybody left. Everybody came down and said goodbye. It was just us. And then Allison went to bed, and Hustle's like, I should go. And then it was just Bobby and Jay, and then they left. So, and then, Anyway, nobody wants to hear boring details. It was a good time.
It was a great time. You did a good job hosting, as always. And I got my mailman hat, which I will wear. Claire has banned it to the closet already. So.
I have to say, it was fun playing cornhole. Now that we know the rules, I want to play again.
Yeah.
You play with all 4 sacks.
Yes.
Not 2 sacks.
Yes.
And John's like, all 4. I'm like, well, it seemed to work with just 2 sacks back and forth. Like my team had 2 and the other half had 2. But he was saying you use all 4 sacks.
Yeah, the way the game goes quicker, I guess.
But we still had fun.
Yeah.
And getting a bunch of old folks like us to play beer pong again was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, well, water pong. We didn't really.
Yeah, but people were into beer pong.
Yes, and especially with John's Bag of Wonder. You don't really need.
So what the Bag of Wonder is, so everybody knows, it's a bag that was filled to the brim with nippers, tons of different kinds of nippers.
It's basically a blind bag.
Yeah, you put your hand in it, and whenever you pulled out, you had to drink. And some of these things were good, and some of them were god awful.
Seemed like a lot more god awful than good, from the sounds of things.
I had a root beer that was 99 proof.
Oof.
Oh, it tasted like cough syrup. Oof. It was god awful.
I'm so glad I don't drink. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and
that's all I kept saying. I'm so glad I don't drink. I'm so glad I gave it up.
Bobby got a pickle rind.
Yeah.
Bourbon or
vodka.
Vodka.
Yeah, it was a vodka. I remember that.
Pickled something. Sounds gross. But anyway, we had a good time.
Where John finds these things, who knows?
It was a great idea. It's great. Good times.
Yeah.
So we got news, Mark.
We do. We got the news.
News drop. So this Thursday is a big day. We have the Matrix Resurrections.
Yes.
Resurrections? The first trailer on
Matrix
Thursday.
Erections.
Matrix
Harvey
Erections.
Weinstein.
The Harvey Weinstein story.
Matrix Erections.
Matrix. This is getting weird. So the teaser website launches. It's called whatisthematrix.com. It will be back.
It's the
after
same
all
one they
these-
used for the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming
So
back.
just like paid the GoDaddy account that they had.
Yeah, they're like, pay it up, baby. We're
Yeah.
coming
Make
back.
sure you slide that GoDaddy money.
The webpage will feature teaser videos, some movie footage that nobody's seen before. The trailer will drop at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So that's for us, Eastern.
Yes.
And I'm very excited for this. The new Matrix.
You're excited for the new Matrix movie?
Yes.
Matrix 4?
Yes.
Haven't we already got through the Matrix? Like, why? Like, what's the besides a money grab? What's the point of this fourth one?
I don't know until I see the trailer. I love the Matrix, and
because isn't he dead, Neo?
Well, it ended where he was sort of like became God.
Yeah,
right.
like he was like his corpse was like carried off the screen.
It's been so long. I mean, I love Matrix 1. Matrix 2 was a lot of fun, and then 3, Mark, I'm going to go back to the Wayback Machine.
3 ends with like the. I mean, see if I can remember the ending of 3.
No. This is not where
3 ends with the lady sitting on a bench talking to the kid.
This isn't Finding Neverland. What are you talking about? Oh,
yes, no, they're sitting on a park bench.
Talking to the kid? What kid?
Oracle,
yeah.
Sitting on a park bench talking to a kid about what happened to Neo.
Oh. You know what? I'm going to have to rewatch. I rewatched the first one this past summer, but I haven't watched 2 and 3.
Does it hold up technology-wise?
1 still looks great.
Yeah.
Still looks fantastic. Because there was a lot of practical effects. And
I don't know if I'll ever get over the multi-Smiths CG.
Well, they rectified that in the 3rd one by putting it in shadows and rain. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like that 2nd one was awesome. He's fighting all those Mr. Smiths, but it did look like a Super Nintendo graphics.
It did.
At the time.
Yeah, it was very
But Mark,
low res.
I'm gonna blow your mind. Do you remember when the 3rd one came out? Me and you were at the radio station. We had a contest. Win a date with Bailey.
Win a date with Bailey to go to see the 3rd Matrix movie.
Yes, and we made promos, and then we went on it. We took her and her date out, and we crammed in my Saturn for some reason. Like nobody else could drive. We all crammed ourselves into my little Saturn.
Yeah, I sat in the back seat with him. It was a blast.
We went to Ground Round.
Yep. And then the Enfield cinemas.
Movies. Yeah.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. Allie was with us. Allie Wood.
Yep.
At the time was also on the show with us. So she came along. And we chaperoned.
And it was rigged because we picked her friend.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we weren't going to stick her with some rando.
I can't remember his name.
I don't either.
Chris
Who knows?
Something?
Probably.
I don't know. But that was a lot of fun. That's what that movie reminds me of. So the Matrix
things you couldn't get away with now, that's for sure.
Yeah. Resurrections is due December 22nd.
Erections is due December.
It's actually coming out like a couple days after Spider-Man.
It's not going to do anything.
Wow. They're brave. Because Spider-Man comes out like the 17th or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they will have the Christmas week, so people will be home. But
possibly.
Will COVID be a problem then?
Possibly they will have.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, also on, let's see what else we got. Marcus. Shang-Chi star uses own stock photos should shut down doubters. Now this is tying into Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi this weekend did a monster box office. It did 71 million domestic 3-day weekend, and for the Labor Day weekend with over 90 million with domestic and what am I saying? Domestic? What's the other word? Come on, I'm missing a word here.
An international?
International, yeah, thank you. I was gonna say imported. Dude, 90 million and 71 domestically, that is really good.
Yeah.
It's the second best opening weekend since the start of the pandemic, only behind Black Widow and edging past Fast 9.
There you go.
And
I mean, also Black Widow was like in the lull of
Yeah.
the COVID.
right,
Like when
that
people
was
were
in the
not
beginning of summer.
before Delta variant.
Right.
So
Also, Shang-Chi has glowing reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like a 98 from critics, and it's got like a 97, 98 from reviewer.
yeah.
You know, just
Well, we'll talk more
people.
about it once we get into the chunk of the review.
Yeah. So
But it
it's
was I will tell you, it's in my top 5 Marvel movies now.
well. So what happens is on YouTube there is a group of folks that like to just make drama when it comes to Marvel movies. They did that with Captain Marvel.
That's how they make their
didn't-
money.
They didn't like Brie Larson, so they
Yeah.
said it's gonna flop. Disney's rejecting it. She's
Yeah.
gonna get fired. Nobody likes her. And then the
Yeah.
movie did very well. And
And now she's in this movie.
yeah. Then
Spoiler. Sorry.
like with the Mandalorian, people did the same thing.
Yes.
They went after Mandalorian.
Pedro Pascal and everything.
Pedro Pascal and all this stuff. And then with this movie, they did the same thing, saying it's gonna flop.
Yeah.
Disney doesn't care about it anymore. It's a
Yeah.
disaster. Well, it did such big numbers. So Sim Lu, who's the lead there,
Shang-Chi.
who plays Shang-Chi. So before being in the movies, to pay off some credit card debt,
Shang-Chi.
he did stock photos.
Yes.
So all the stock photos you see of him pointing and
Yeah.
stuff, that's him. And he actually used a stock photo of him looking at a laptop laughing with 2 people next to him.
Nice.
And it says, "Me laughing at the people who thought we'd flop."
There you go.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That he used these stock photos against the haters. But on the Marvel Reddit page, someone was just like, they took a screen grab of all these YouTube thumbnails with all like all this stuff with a big LOL, because I guess he tweeted that too.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, come on. Like, I don't know. I think people are catching on to these grifters on YouTube. Yeah, that's how they make their money, by
That's how they
shitting
make
on
their money.
things.
It's yeah.
They just shit on things because people watch it. But I think people are getting sick of it.
I think it's just there's so much shit going on right now that people are like, let us enjoy something.
Yeah.
It was nice to sit in a theater and enjoy a movie.
As opposed to not enjoying a movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, my foot fell asleep. Oh my God, that's so weird.
Yeah, that happens. Pins and needles, pins and needles.
Pins and needles. It's so numb, I can't feel it.
Oh, that's the worst.
If it was my hand, I'd give myself the stranger.
Oh, God. Matrix Erections.
What's that from?
Matrix Erections.
No, I think it's from Scrubs.
It was, I think it was, yeah.
JD says you sit on your hand and make it numb.
Yeah.
He goes like, I call it the stranger.
Stranger. Yes. And it's probably been used before that, but
yeah.
yes, that is a scene in Matrix Erections coming out this December.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm so happy for this movie. I'm so happy for the star there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, he was in other movies besides this. This wasn't his first movie, so
I couldn't tell you what his first movie is.
I want to say he was in Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, he could have, but that movie did very well too.
Yes. I'll double check.
So
I'm not just saying that because he's an Asian guy. I'm saying it because I remember Claire saying something about that.
And because he's Asian. I know.
No, because he's Asian.
Let's see what else. What else can I give you real quick before we should jump into our what if review? Oh, what if? Here we go, baby. You ready?
Yes, I'm waiting on you. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, what are you doing?
I was just looking up something. Doesn't mean you have to shut the whole show down.
What about you? Why didn't you talk? I don't know what's going. I was looking up news.
Oh, he was in Kim's Convenience. That's what he was in.
Oh,
The Netflix show.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
He's also going to play a character in Star Wars Visions, which is the anime Star Wars stuff they're doing.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
And speaking of Star Wars, October 1st, they're doing a Star Wars Legos special.
Yes, I heard about this.
It's going to be like spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Spooktacular. It's going to be a spooktacular kind of show. Beakity bom boom. So, what if episode 4?
Yes.
What it was Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands.
Yes.
And wow, that first 10 minutes.
What if the car accident that he was in, he wasn't by himself, but had Rachel McAdams' character in the car with him.
Yeah.
And she passes away.
Dude, and she dies and dies.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And dies.
Well,
and
because
dies,
he keeps
and
trying
dies.
to. Well, because then he gets his powers like he did in the original, but he has his hands. But on the anniversary of her death, he thinks about what it would be like if he used the time gem to go back in time and save her. But Tilda Swinton's character, whose name I can't remember right now, the wise one or something like that, the ancient one or something, I think that's her name, the ancient one, divides him in half, his consciousness, and he gets 2 timelines. So one timeline he stays on the timeline where he doesn't go back in time, any other timeline he does, and one where he does, he goes into this whole like mythological hunt for power and knowledge to learn how to stop, like bring someone back from the dead, like Anakin Skywalker, very similar trajectory. But the one thing that you see in that is there's a lot of connections to Shang-Chi, actually, with a Tao Lo connection, which was kind of coincidental how that all worked out. Because the tentacle monster, I guess, somehow is connected. It's the first time there's been like a connection between 2 episodes of What If. That tentacle monster, people are saying, was the same tentacle monster from the first episode with Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
Because it's the one that comes through and kills Red Skull.
Yeah.
And they're saying that is the same monster that's in this episode. So is that possible? Like, is there somehow a connection there?
Could be.
So they go through that whole thing, and he gradually absorbs all their energies, all these mythological beings like a gnome and all these other different creatures, which I guess people are saying that there was a couple of creatures from Tao Lo in like that, like as he kept like the quick cuts, but I didn't have time to go back and rewatch it all since I saw Shang-Chi. So so then he turns like a bad Doctor Strange basically. And then
ego. He's all about the ego.
Yeah,
he wants...
the 2 like entities fight each other, and then he's able to bring her back to life, but in doing so, collapses the universe.
Yeah.
So
it was a crazy episode, man.
It was a heart-wrenching episode.
Just like, that first 10 minutes of watching her die from different things, because
different ways and different things, and everything he did didn't change anything.
She was going to die no matter what. He couldn't change
her death's a fixed point in time.
Yes, and that's what happens. He wants to create a different timeline where it's not a fixed point. And that's why she explains, well, you can't, you know, and then he becomes all powerful and does it himself. Yeah. And man, it's
the first time we actually see the Watcher like communicate with a character in the show.
And the character was just kind of like, wait, who's there? And then he just disappears.
Well, no, even later in the episode, he actually like talks to him like, you can change this. You can fix this. You can make
That's
this
right.
go away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't. Which I think is what's going to gradually be like the watcher gradually being pulled into the story and being made to make the decision to actually intervene. And
Right.
yeah, it was the roughest what if episode.
Totally. I totally
Emotionally
agree.
wise, not watching wise, but just like it was a gut twister.
It definitely was.
But
I was like, wow, this is a dark one. This is dark.
It was the darkest one of all of them.
Yeah.
And they have announced tomorrow's episode.
Wait, there's a new one tomorrow? I feel like I just watched that
tomorrow's
one.
Wednesday.
Oh my god, this week's flying by.
Tomorrow's episode is zombies.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Marvel Zombies.
This is giving me the Matrix Resurrections.
Yes, I think the title episode is Undead Avengers Unite.
Oh my god. Wait, so we're getting close to the end of the series.
I think there's only 10 of them. So this is 5.
No, there's 9. There's 9.
Oh.
So 5.
There you go.
So we got 5.
This is the 5th one tomorrow.
Oh. So then we got 4 more after this. Man. Oh, see, I thought Zombies was coming up later. I didn't know it was coming up so soon.
Well, it's halfway through the season, so that makes sense.
Yeah. This week? It's Wednesday tomorrow?
Yes, it is. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Your 3-day weekend, Mark, has really screwed me up.
Well,
Martha.
Here you go.
You sound like Reagan.
Well. I did watch Back to the Future 2 a couple times. So that makes sense. Over the weekend. Because it is Back to the Future weekend.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah. Everything happens on September 5th.
Well.
Yeah. So I guess Thor is the zombie hunter.
I thought we were Spider-Man was going to be some sort of hunter, but no.
Well, and all the stills I'm seeing online, it's Thor. So
nice. I'm excited for that. I'm yawning. I'm putting myself to sleep here.
yeah.
All right, Mark. Let's jump into Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, the Legend
episode.
of the Ten Rings.
We are, listen, I'll say this up front. We will do our best not to spoil things, but if we do, and you haven't seen this movie, it's on you right now. Turn back.
Diving deep. We're going to go deep into this. So we're going to go deep into this movie. So real quick, though, for those who don't want to hear spoilers, let's give a quick little, like, let's say out of 4 stars, your quick 4-star review.
I'm not a 4-star kind of guy. You know that.
5 stars.
I'm a 1 out of 10.
Out of 10.
Guy.
Out of 10. You
know me.
Weirdo.
You can do stars. I'll do.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna say 10 anyway. So I don't even know why I even give you the option. So
I don't know if I'm not gonna say 10. You don't know.
Everything's 10 for you. You love everything.
Not everything is a 10.
You love everything so much. It was talked about at the party on Saturday. How no matter what we watch, you're gonna like it. So
listen, it's not.
You
10.
like everything.
Shang-Chi's not a 10.
Was it a 9?
That could be.
Exactly.
You want me to go first?
Yes, of course we do. Because we're all waiting patiently to hear you say 9.
All right.
And then I'll just mock you for it.
We will do
out of 10.
A quick thought in our review.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go into spoilers.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to get at, Mark?
I am.
All right. Let me go
You'll
first.
just give us the 10 out of 10, what your rating is.
Okay. For me personally, I can't wait to watch it again on Disney Plus October 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch it again.
Yes.
I was on 3 hours of sleep. Yes. Now, that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the fact they did things differently.
Yes.
I think it was they squashed some of the cliches that they normally fall on, which was great. And overall, I think it was a fun movie. It was a feast for the eyes, and it was a great MCU movie that moves the story forward. It was definitely better than Black Widow. And I give it a 9.
Oh, surprise, surprise. All right. So I agree. It was very well done. I will say it revitalized my love of Marvel movies again.
When did we?
Well, it was just because I haven't seen him in so long. I
We
don't really
saw
count
Black Widow.
Black Widow as a full-blown Marvel movie. It was just a palate cleanser, kind of like, here's a way to get you back into us making movies again. Because you've been gone for so long. Here's something Here's a nice little
But Black
moose
Widow
boosh
didn't
to
move.
get you ready for the
Didn't
big
move the
stuff.
needle forward. It moved the.
It's just like it was an amuse bouche. It was a little palate appetizer to get you going. Like, welcome back. Here's a little. Remember these? Remember this lady? There you go. See you in a couple months for the new stuff. So I was thoroughly into all the action sequences. I knew who the stunt coordinator was. He was Jackie Chan's stunt coordinator. He unfortunately passed away. Brad Allen, the guy who did all the stunts and everything and organized everything. So like it was very reminiscent of a Jackie Chan movie, the fighting style.
A little bit, yeah.
Like the coat scene and the bus was all very Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And the scaffolding fight was a very Jackie Chan-esque. So I loved all that stuff. I loved the story was great. I like how they retconned a lot of Shang-Chi's, like from the comic book, a lot of the stuff that was kind of like, we can't say that, or we can't use that anymore because it's not appropriate to call his father Fu Manchu. So let's call him this instead. So it was a nice, like, they did a good job of doing that. I like them bringing in the former story of the Ten Rings.
Just get it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I like that too.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I liked it was a very well put together movie. I love the story flowed very smoothly and nicely, and I will give it. This doesn't happen often. I'll give it a 10.
Oh, but you were just yelling at me for you're giving.
I never give a 10. I've never given a 10.
When's the last time you gave a 10?
To a movie? I would say Endgame.
Okay. I believe you, sort of.
Yeah. I never give any shows or anything. None of the Marvel shows have gotten a 10. Maybe like the final episode of Black Scarlet Witch and Vision.
I think so.
But that's about it.
Well,
this movie hit like all the spots. This was like perfect Marvel movie. It was like exactly what like, and for to be the first thing to launch the new phase, so good, such a good job
with a new character, new character too.
Yeah, because it's the first new character we've gotten since Doctor Strange,
Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel, yeah.
She came out right before
the pandemic,
right before Endgame.
Yeah.
Like her movie came out in between.
No, before Infinity War.
Before Infinity War, so it was like we're waiting.
She was in Infinity War, or she was in. Yeah.
So they needed her backstory.
Yeah.
Before the big last two movies because she was going to be in it.
Yeah.
So she was the last big new character we got. So all right, now we're gonna go into spoilers.
Yes,
so
we're entering the spoiler alert zone.
I would say, Mark, though, for a brand new character like this, you're absolutely right. They did it right. What I did like is that her partner, Aquafina, which she's a
Katie.
She plays Katie.
Katie, that's her name in the movie.
Yeah. So Aquafina.
You were at the movie, right? You actually were
Yeah, I
there?
was there.
Okay,
I
shut
forgot names. I always forget names. It was great because they worked off so well off of each other.
Yeah.
And she kind of played her character from Nora from Queens, which if you don't watch a show on Comedy Central,
Well,
it's a
she
good
just
show.
played every character. She doesn't really there's not like much.
Well, she didn't write the character. Someone
No, but I
wrote
mean,
it
they
for her.
like everything's pretty much written for her. It's not like there's a.
Yeah, but
She kind of always plays that same kind of goofy.
she has a character. She plays
Yeah.
like a a kind of like a aloof
Aloof.
version
Yeah.
of herself on
Yeah.
Nora from Queens,
Yeah.
and which is a really funny show.
Yes.
And in this, she kind of played that kind of character, like she's just doing parking cars,
Which
and she's happy
Shang-Chi
with
was
that.
on as well. The guy who played Shang-Chi was in that show.
I don't remember seeing him in that show.
Yeah.
When?
His thing. I don't think he was in a lot. I think we might have been in 1 or 2 episodes.
I've seen them all. I've never seen him in an episode.
Well, it
Are
says
you
it on
just
his
saying things because
IMDb.
they're Asian?
No, it was on his IMDb. I just looked at it.
Unless it's a newer episode I haven't seen. I'm only 2 behind.
Simu Liu, was that his name?
I only watched. I mean, I already watched last season's, which was hilarious.
He was the garbage boy.
Which season? 2 or 1?
I don't know. It just says garbage boy 2020.
Oh, so, maybe it was a very small role.
Well, he was a garbage boy, so there you go.
That's pretty awesome. He could have been a guest appearance on that when this movie was supposed to come out.
That's what I'm thinking. That would make sense because it was from 2020 that he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also on Fresh Off the Boat for an episode.
But anyway, let's get back into it.
Yeah.
I Aquafina, I think like it was so great to have her in this movie. And what the writers did was finally they listened to us, and they didn't when there was a serious moment when Shang-Chi's talking to her about his dad, about what he needs to do, heavy stuff he's gonna have to do to his dad. She listens, and she doesn't end it with a joke. And I think that was so smart. And I get it. Some movies are going to be funnier than others. But when it was serious, they let it hang. They let you have that moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Marvel movies, I mean, I like the humor, so it never bothered me that much. But in this movie, I was like, please don't do that. I feel like it wouldn't be appropriate. And I'm glad they didn't. I really feel like they stuck the landing when it came to the seriousness of what he had to do. So I think that's why I think definitely it is one of my favorite origin stories that they have told, What are you doing, Mark?
So I was just looking at his.
Well, let's talk about the movie. Let's get off our
Hey,
phones.
you were talking. I was letting you finish your thought.
All right.
I really like the depth of the character development too. Like we haven't really got, like with Captain Marvel, we got a little bit because it was more in the story of how she becomes Captain Marvel. Even in Doctor Strange, it wasn't like a lot of backstory to him. It was just, here's how I became Doctor Strange. Whereas this one, like really delved into like his life, and so you actually have like a connection to this character now because you know like everything about him in just this one movie.
Well, let's go back to what you said in your review in the beginning, how they retconned or they fixed the the Mandarin.
Yes.
The Mandarin is his dad.
Yes.
Yes.
And they did talk about how like the 10 armies were spread across the world. The 10 rings, the army of the 10 rings.
Yeah, just like the Black Widows, just like all these, like, it's so funny.
I saw in the scene and I wasn't sure. So I went on YouTube and I saw like there's a guy that does like all the Easter eggs in all the movies. And I was right. In the fight club scene, there's a girl fighting a glowing guy.
Okay.
You remember that scene? It was
Yeah.
like when they were walking through the hallway and they cut to one like fight, and there's like in the aquarium looking room,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guy who's glowing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's Extremis from Iron Man 3. And it was. That guy is infected with Extremis because they all
Huh.
glue when they before they exploded.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's the guy that survived it. So that was an Easter egg back to Iron Man 3. And the person he was fighting, and it's the same exact character, and is listed in the credits, which I didn't notice until they mentioned it in the YouTube video. Her character is listed as Widow. It was the girl that was in Black Widow.
Or she's just a widow. She doesn't have
Yeah,
to be.
so
She's
she's
a
one
part
of the
of the widow.
widows from
Widow,
Black
yeah.
Widow. That actually was when she like released them all and freed them all. She's actually one of the widows.
You're
I
talking
thought
about
that
the
was
fight club they went to. The
yeah,
fight club.
yeah,
Thing.
yeah. The last one that they focused on before they went into the big battle with Wong and Abomination.
Yeah.
Which
And that's
also
kind
they
of
connect that back to being actually what's his name, Ross character, because he uses his first name in it, which is the same for Milo, I think his name was in Incredible Hulk.
yeah.
So they've retconned that, so now he is actually in the MCU.
Well, it's not really retconning. It's just bringing back an old character.
Well, it's retconning in the fact that the character was in a Sony or in a Universal movie, because Incredible Hulk's a Universal property, but his villain is not.
Yeah.
So now they've taken Abomination back into the MCU, which is kind of cool because that gives you a connection to Thunderbolts, because Abomination was a member of the Thunderbolts, which is what Julia Louise Dreyfus's character is somewhat building in the MCU right now, with US Agent and Black Widow's sister.
Yeah.
And now you can add Abomination possibly to that roster as well.
Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't see
No,
her
but I'm
this
just saying
movie.
in the background, that's that kind of,
We didn't see her this movie, which I kind of thought we were. We'll get to that.
Well, because I think this movie was filmed before Black Widow. Because originally she was going to come out before Black Widow, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they can add it to the end.
No, because you said that because you argued about that with Black Widow, because you argued with John saying they already shot it. Why would they go back and reshoot stuff?
Oh no, John was saying they just put a different picture
on the iPad. They just put newer. They might have put a different picture, but it was a newer picture.
No, they have the story arcs all laid out.
Yeah.
So that obviously it was going to be who that was going to be, no matter what. My point saying they could add, if Shang-Chi didn't have a stinger at the end to tie in, they could film something to add, obviously that could happen. Like the shawarma thing that happened Avengers 1, that was filmed the last minute. They had everybody come back just for that one little piece to go at the end.
Yeah.
My point being, they're not going to change something that they're already planning. Disney Plus is already making it,
Yeah.
At the end of this movie, I mean, I guess we could jump around since we're already talking about it.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused, but I figured I'm like, okay, his sister, she took over
the 10 rings.
She's got the army it's all females, and she sits down.
It's not all females. There was guys in there too.
There's a couple guys. It was mostly women.
But it's more equal. Like it can be men and women as a member of the army, as opposed to before it was just men.
Yeah. And she sits down on the throne.
Yeah.
Very, very much like Book of Boba Fett. But he did the same thing. I'm like, they literally.
There's not many ways you can sit in a throne. There's not like a plethora of different.
It was poses. Just like like they did it once on TV. They're like, well, we could do it again in the theater.
Well, it's two different organizations technically. Star Wars and Marvel
felt very much the same.
But you can get away with it.
Where is this going? Is this going to be a Disney Plus show? What What is
I don't
that
think so.
into?
I think that the 10 rings, because it doesn't say the 10 rings
will return.
But it doesn't say it doesn't say where they'll return.
Yeah, it just says it will return.
But I'm assuming, I don't think it's going to be a Disney Plus show because they didn't announce it.
she could have her own movie.
I don't know if that's worth an own movie, a Ten Rings movie.
Or it could
It
be
would be
Disney
a Disney Plus. Like I first, as soon as I saw it, I was like, on
Disney
Disney
Plus.
Plus. That's where
Yeah.
you'll see that. Because I think that's where it'll land. It just hasn't been announced yet, which they wouldn't announce it because the movie hadn't come out yet. So why?
Right. So they're gonna announce it probably in a week or two, once
you'll
everybody
get
sees
something
the movie.
saying next year the Ten Rings show will come out.
Yeah. It feels like a Disney Plus show to me.
Yeah, it's definitely not movie worthy.
Because
it doesn't mean that they can't reappear in another movie. The Ten Rings army.
Right.
Could reappear in another Marvel movie. Say Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or something like that. They could pop up here and there.
Yeah.
But now they'll be like a force for good as opposed to it might be on like the fence kind of organization.
Yeah. Let's talk about how would you feel about getting the actor back with his face?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great connection. It was a great way to connect this character to the old phases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a great way to bring Shang-Chi in, but then also be like, we haven't forgotten that we already used this character before, or this idea of the character before. Because if they just said it like at the dinner table where he's sitting there, he says like, "Oh, they've appropriated my likeness before," and that was all we got. I think it would have just fallen kind of flat. But to actually bring Ben Kingsley back and have him playing the same character and have him being a pretty integral part of the storyline.
Yeah.
As he's the only one that can like translate Morse for anybody.
Where do you think he learned to talk to that animal?
I think just time.
I talk to my cats, but I don't understand what they're saying.
Well,
so how did he understand? How did he understand what this thing was saying? He's just just a human.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm just saying, like, how does he know what this thing is saying? I think
it's just that just being locked in a space together for so long, you kind of just you get to know somebody.
Getting to know you.
I mean,
now is he like he's like Han Solo and Chewbacca almost?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's Chewie. Yeah.
Like how did Han learn what Chewbacca's saying?
Well, because they're in outer space.
Well, this is in Marvel world. It's not in like an actual thing.
It's a Marvel world. I just want to know where he learned to speak this little goobers.
Like I said, you just kind of just like noises and grunts. You kind of like you learn to understand a baby. It can't speak, but you know what it needs and what it wants just by noises it makes.
I guess.
Kind of, it happens.
Yeah. It was good.
It's a movie. Don't think about it.
Ben Kingsley.
There's a guy running around with rings on his wrists, making powers. So.
Yeah.
And there's dragons and other creatures. So don't overthink it too much.
Getting Wong back was great.
Yeah.
He's bringing Shang-Chi and is it Kate?
Katie into the fold.
Into the fold. Because there are some communications happening within the ring.
There's a beacon in the ring being sent somewhere.
Yeah.
Francia made the point, which surprisingly was a coherent, actual making sense point, as opposed to one of his deep state conspiracy thoughts about anything to do with any of these movies. Because it's always like some cockamamie thing. This guy's good, this guy and that guy. It's like, John, you're way too deep into this. But that the rings are so big and they fit on a human's arm because they're really meant for Celestial's fingers.
Yeah.
And there is, of course, in Eternals, there's a whole thing with it. There's a whole bunch. You can go really deep into it, but saying that the 10 rings are basically meant for Celestial, and that's why he has powers and eternity, eternal life, makes sense and it makes sense in a way to connect Shang-Chi to the Eternals, then to the Celestials,
right?
Then who the big bad might be in this phase.
Correct. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So I think
Because
that's what it's doing.
yeah.
It's like calling out, like, I think it's because it was used for evil per se by his father.
Yeah.
That's why it never beaconed, because it was which makes, like, I don't understand why it wouldn't have been
Hold on. Stop.
beeping before this.
But pause what you're saying. It could have been, but because he had them, nobody would have known. But Shang-Chi got them. They're in New York City now. And Wong and someone's like, there's something going on here. Because he goes, do you have the rings? And he goes, yes. He goes, I need to see them. So like his father had them off in a special place.
Yeah, but his father had been wearing them for thousands of years.
Yeah, but if he had them
hundreds of years,
if he had them in the shadows hidden, like
he was wearing them for the first half of the movie in the past.
But they're being used and nobody heard.
But why wouldn't the beacon been going off that whole time?
Maybe the beacon was, but once it was in New York, it's close to Wong's in New York too. So the beacon could be heard.
But it wasn't in New York until Wong brought it to New York.
Shang-Chi had them with Katie. They were at dinner talking.
That's not New York. That was in River, San Francisco.
I thought they were in New York.
No, they were in San Francisco. Whole part, the first part of the movie where Shang-Chi
they were in San Francisco
is parking as a valet. That's all in San Francisco.
No way.
They show Alcatraz in like the first 2 seconds of the movie.
Oh my God, you're right. They did show Alcatraz. I forgot about that.
That whole part takes place in San Francisco.
You're right. But anyway, it was on.
The Wong bringing him to New York City does nothing.
It was in America, so maybe because it was closer to home. I don't know. Just go with it, Mark.
It makes no sense.
Why does Ben Kingsley can talk to a fur ball? It's a movie. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
But I'm thinking that the reason why the beacon started going off is because it changed hands.
Yes.
And because technically Shang-Chi is half Taloian. He's a magical being that the magic in him is what turned on the rings and why they're yellow and not blue.
Yeah, basically
because they're being used by a human, by his father, who is only human, so they weren't like fully activated. But when Shang-Chi puts them on and they change to the yellow, like I said, he's half Taloian on his mom's side, that the magic from that realm is what turned the beacon on, because it's been ignited.
It gave them the Matrix Resurrections.
Yes. So I'm thinking that's why I think the beacon was only mentioned then and not earlier in the movie.
Mark, I think you're right. I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the villain, him being his dad. I like the villain.
There's actually two villains in this movie.
Well, let's talk about his dad though.
Yes.
Because I think it was great to have a villain where you can understand where he's coming from. He was kind of blinded by getting his wife back.
Well, he's actually the most in-depth villain, like the villain with the most depth that we've seen
in a long time.
Since probably Loki or Thanos. Yeah,
Thanos and Loki.
Yeah, Thanos and Loki are like the two other ones that actually had like an actual like weight to them. Like, why are they doing what they're doing?
Right. I mean,
like he had the power because he found the rings, which never really go deep into where he found the rings. They said either a cave or a tomb.
Yeah.
So they don't really say like where this was that he found these rings. And then he just became powerful and he wanted power, but then he found love trying to find Ta Lo with Shang-Chi's mom. And then that made him give up the rings. But her leaving where she did caused her to, and then she gets killed by the Iron Gang.
Yeah.
And then that rage, I think, is what made him go full bad, as opposed to he was like partial bad before.
Yeah, I mean, I almost like he wasn't like a horrible person per se. I mean,
No, he was just
he
it's
didn't
like
see himself as a villain.
it's a great example, like a great example, but like it really delves into how people deal with loss in different ways.
Yeah,
Like Shang-Chi deals with it one way, and his sister deals with it a different way, and then the
right,
father
right.
deals with it a different way. And then the whole thing of like the soul eater, like beckoning him to come save who he thinks is his wife, but it's really letting like the soul eater knowing that he can release him, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
But
I mean, that was cool with the dragon and all that stuff at
yeah,
the
the only
end.
downside of that is they got rid of Death Dealer like instantly.
They did.
The Kabuki Ninja.
He was barely in it. Do we
He's
really
like a
need him?
huge villain in the Shang-Chi story.
Well, look at what they did in Black Widow with Taskmaster. Masker.
Yeah, but his soul sucked out of his body. I don't think there's a way to reverse that.
Well, I mean,
The souls don't go back into the people's bodies after
no.
the monster's been killed.
I feel like sometimes they get rid of these characters that we don't really need. And I didn't know too much about that character, so it didn't bother me. Like,
I'd rather would have seen Razor Fist go than Death Dealer.
oh, the guy with the
The
hand.
Razor Fist. Yeah.
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 Um,
It was never actually named, but it was on his keys, his car. So
his debit card
his debit card.
in the credits.
Yeah, in the credits. Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird. They showed the character once or twice and then they're
yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Well, because it was like an integral part of his like training at the beginning. Like he was the one leading his training basically, but you don't really
Yeah.
like ever hear why this person is who he is or anything about him. He was like a very throwaway character, but it was just
Yeah.
kind of strange.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to hit upon without? I mean, we've been pretty good by not giving up too much.
Well, I mean, like the whole like Tao Lo section was shot amazingly. It all looked amazing. All the different Pokemon that were all around that you can capture.
Yes.
It was like a Pokemon Go, basically.
Yeah, if you had your Pokemon Go out.
Yeah, you could have caught them all.
But yeah, it was cool. Visually, it was great. I mean, it's a great story. I mean, I think we like. What else? What else? I mean, the humor was great. I mean, I'm so happy.
Well, here's the question for you: where do you think
What?
this character goes from here?
Well, I think we don't see Shang-Chi 2 for a while. I think we're going to see Shang-Chi appear in Doctor Strange.
I think so too. I think there's going to be a lot of people in Doctor Strange.
Me too. I feel like
I think Doctor Strange is going to be very much like a Civil War kind of movie.
Totally. I
Where it's
totally
going to
agree.
be not an Avengers movie, but you're going to get a lot of those characters in it.
It's, you know what? Doctor Strange could be, like you say, these characters meeting each other for the first time. So when you get to that big Avengers movie, everybody's well established.
Well, I think it's even before that. You're going to get, like, I think in this Doctor Strange movie, you're going to get, well, of course, you're going to get Scarlet Witch. You're going to get Shang-Chi. I think you might even get Spider-Man. They've established Hulk, Captain Marvel, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of bads. I'm assuming you're going to get, I'm thinking you might get Loki in this.
Maybe.
So,
well, maybe not, because Loki's lost right now. That might not. Loki might not.
Depends.
Show up again until
You don't know
season 2.
because it depends upon when season 2 comes out. If it comes out before Multiverse of Madness comes out, I mean, he's the one that launched the multiverse, so it kind of makes sense to have him in there somewhere.
But you're right. I think Doctor Strange is going to have a lot of cool characters all meeting each other for the first time.
I think you might get Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think we're going to
launching the Quantumania.
Yeah, Quantumania is supposed to be happening. So later on. So I think Doctor Strange is going to be an awesome sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's where he's going to show up next. That's what I
Yeah.
think anyway. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think his sister will have a Disney Plus show.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly where that would fall.
Yeah. I feel a show like that, like a premise like that, deserves a show because you can get into it more than a movie could.
Well, yeah, because you can do like basically a Mortal Kombat Marvel version.
And she's such a small character. She's a
No, but it'd be a
smaller.
great way to like connect, like using the 10 rings and the Fight Club basically that she's building. Be a great way to bring in ancillary characters to like bring them into the universe basically.
Did you
Like all
think?
these random superheroes or people with abilities go to here to like kind of get their name out, so to speak.
Well, Mark, did you? I thought, what's her name was going to show up and recruit her. That's what I thought was going to happen, didn't you? Or no?
No, I don't think she's that. I don't think she's well enough known to be recruited.
Really? See, that's what I thought was going to happen.
No, I think Abomination would be that person of this to get recruited. I definitely think they're heading towards Thunderbolts somehow.
Thunderbolts or Avengers West Coast or something. I don't know.
No, I think you're gonna. I think we're heading towards Thunderbolts because it just makes more sense.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. I think we've covered it. I think it's a great movie. Go see it if you can. If you can't,
Yeah.
October 18th it'll be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I want to see it again.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely one of those ones you want to watch again.
Yes, I definitely want to watch it again.
Because you could. There's a lot of things that you don't catch the first time around. That when you go back and rewatch it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's that.
Yeah, but I'm so happy it did well. Let's see where everything goes come November for the Internals, December for Spider-Man, and the Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah.
2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which I think is going to be on HBO Max.
Oh yeah. Yes, I can watch it at home. That's my Christmas movie, baby. Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's a Warner movie.
Yeah, I don't want to see 2 movies in a row in the theater.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, I know is going to be packed.
Yeah.
This movie, we had 12 people in the theater? Because we went on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we went on a Sunday afternoon, and there was a lot of theaters showing it, so they had plenty of options. So you weren't
and
pigeonholed to a certain theater. I will say, I miss going to Agawam.
A lot of reasons why.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons. Here, my movie experience for Agawam for the last 2 movies have been great.
Yeah.
This one, I had a child and a mother behind me.
Yes.
Who talked to the whole movie.
Yes.
The popcorn sucks.
The popcorn was stale.
I found a woman's hair in my popcorn.
Oh.
I'm like, ooh.
Oh.
And then I kind of stopped eating it.
Yeah. They have Dasani water, which is basically just ocean water.
Also,
which was
25
made me sick. I ran back in when I said to go to Target. I had to run back in and use facilities because the popcorn did not sit well in my stomach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that popcorn sucks.
Yeah, it was not good.
25 minutes of commercials.
Oh my God. I timed it. I forgot to even talk about that. 25 minutes of trailers.
Yeah. The movie was supposed to be at 3. Started at 3:30.
You had time to run out. You came in, sat down. Oh man, I want to get popcorn. Had time to go back out, came back in, and you still had not missed any of the trailers.
I know, and it was
because not only were there trailers of 25 minutes of trailers before the movie, before they even got into the trailers, there was 2 trailers. There was a trailer and 2 TV show commercials before they even got into the trailers.
I know. Oh. Next movie, Agawam. I don't care if it's free.
Yeah.
Like Cinemark sucks. Like
Which I don't blame it. I don't blame just Cinemark. I think it's just big movie theaters. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, they gotta do all those things.
Yeah.
Make bad popcorn and make you watch 25 minutes of commercials.
And you gotta walk like a whole movie theater just to get to the theater that you want to get to.
Yeah, I mean with Agawam, you get in there, popcorn is fresh. They make it before the movie, and then they showed us like 2 trailers before Black Widow movie started. Yeah. I think we saw 2 trailers before Suicide Squad movie started. Yeah. So yeah, I mean internals. If we go, maybe we go to Agawam and go, and because there wasn't a lot of people there anyway.
Yeah, which sucks too because I just got a gift card to Cinemark for my birthday. So like, man,
you'll have it forever.
I know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you don't have to go to Cinemark. I mean, you can still go to Cinemark.
No, I still want to I still have 3 movie passes I got to get rid of.
I have 2
before the pandemic.
I have 2 movie passes that are on my app.
And by the time Spider-Man comes out, I'll garner 2 more. So
yeah.
I'm still paying the monthly fee for the Cinemark rewards thing.
So I knocked mine down from $9 to $5 a month, and you basically get a free movie ticket every 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I going to pay $9 and I'm not going that much?
Yeah.
So I went to cancel it, and it gives you this pop up when you go to cancel.
Like, please don't leave.
You sure you don't want to do the
this is the way we can pay our employees if you want to do it this way.
Yeah, so I did the $5.
I might do that next. That might be a way to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't need the concessions. I'm not gonna with the new diet. I'm not eating all that. I'm not eating chocolate or candy or anything. So
right, and the popcorn sucked.
And the popcorn's terrible. I'll just bring my own popcorn from home.
It was definitely bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because it was a Sunday and it we're just sitting in the. Because I think next time I just be like, can I get a fresh popcorn as opposed to one that's been sitting in the thing all day?
Yeah, it was gross.
I mean, albeit none of it's fresh anyways because they bring it in those huge bags and just dump it into the thing. So
yeah. But
I mean, they don't make their own popcorn anymore there. So
Agawam makes it.
It does. It does.
Yeah, and it's good.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah. So I missed Agawam too.
Yeah.
So let's go there next.
Sounds good. We'll do. I definitely want to go to Spider-Man there as opposed to.
Yeah.
The bigger
Internal. Theater. If we see Internals, we'll go there.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, yeah, Eternals. Yeah. But I mean, definitely Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the world's not shut down by then.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it. All right. I think it's been a show.
It has been.
We'll be back next Tuesday.
We will be, because I have a root canal on Monday.
Oh, good luck, Mark.
Yes.
Fun times.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
The Warnock Royale.
Yes.
Jeez Louise. All right. We'll be back next Tuesday with another Geekonomics. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on the old Twitter. And subscribe to us on YouTube.
Exactly. Do all those things. And we'll see you all next week. Everyone be safe. Be good.